When I get asked, do you believe in God? I reply, it depends on what you mean by believe and what you mean by God.
I am an admirer of Jordan Peterson, and that is how he responds to that.
Of course, he answers the question eloquently. I recommend searching for his perspective if you end up liking mine. As far as God is concerned, much foundation needs to be grounded first before I attempt to discuss what I think or don't think God is. Regardless, I am interested in the psychological significance of these words, not so much what they mean in their religious context. So, believe. What does it mean to believe in anything? The simple definition is to feel, to think, to accept that something is true. But I find this is where things become complicated, because if I declare that I believe in Goku and end up in a situation where I have to fight the enemy, and they say, hey, I'm sorry, how about we talk about this? And I go, nonsense, and fight them anyway, then I don't really believe in Goku. I might like Goku. He could have characteristics that I find heroic. Hell, I might even think Goku was a real person at one point. But I do not truly believe in Goku because he would accept the apology from the adversary and turn the other cheek, even if that means he was actually deceived and the enemy exploited his weakness.
It takes courage to stand up for what we believe in.
Sometimes this word gets confused with faith. I understand faith is associated with religion, but only by definition number two. Faith is believing, or let's just say trusting in something or someone without empirical evidence. The reason these ideas exist is because we don't have enough time to educate ourselves on every key aspect of life.
I find that there are three main ones, each nesting an entire philosophy, complementary or juxtaposed to another, with infinite layers of psychological nodes. Therefore, it is perfectly reasonable to let faith occupy the time needed to understand these complicated ideas and to go with the one that makes the most sense. So, who am I to make such claims? Well, this is my attempt at being humble. I'm some not so young anymore man who spends more time playing guitar than reading books. However, I truly try to sympathize with the ideas that control societies. Having so much time alone, I can squeeze my eyes super hard and navigate to where I shouldn't be, dislocate the part of me that knows right from wrong, encouraging the raw nature of humankind to enter the palace of reason and smile at that which makes us suffer, reducing the severity of all human actions into apathy, judging it the way an old man looks at a boy who just got caught stealing a cookie, chuckling at the atrocious, inhumane punishment of a whole 13-minute timeout. Of course, it wasn't always this way. I was raised Catholic, and I was taught not only to fear God, but the fear of sinning and where I would go if I did anything the grown ups disagreed with. So here I am at church for the first time, seeing this suffering man hanging on this T, with his head turned sideways, staring right through my soul. Aside from the blood, his blonde hair and blue eyes stood out. Up to this point, I've only seen those people on TV, but here he is, in this cold chamber with brilliant windows and walls that repeat what you say. A mass of people on their knees with their eyes closed, sending an ensemble of monotone whispers into their folded hands, radiating psychic energy, flowing into this idol, absorbing all their power, and he won't stop looking at me. I was told that God, Mary, spirits, and saints speak to us from within. I spent the first few years of my life thinking there was something wrong with me because I couldn't hear their voices in my head. But I still accepted that there was a higher power. Dead or alive, I imagined his eyes all around me. But I wasn't worthy of his voice yet. Maybe never. I knew as a very young child that I was going to go to hell and die the next day. And as repention, did my best to feel bad about life because maybe then God would recognize my suffering, feel sorry for me, and give me a pass. When I turned 12, something amazing happened. I was playing a game with this one crazy challenge I couldn't reach, and after days of frustration and anger, I broke down and cursed God for the first time. I knew then that I was going to go to hell and die the next day. A lightning bolt, plane falls on me. Lucifer pulls my feet while I sleep and takes me away through the crack by the fridge. But he never came. And those eyes that never shut up, closed for once. And they remain shut to this day, not even a peek. Either those eyes didn't exist or I truly let them down. When I removed religion, I didn't really remove anything except the idea that the entity known as God exists. My morals were the same, not like I followed them to a T anyway, but I behaved the same with or without God. So if I still follow these rules and not care about reward or punishment after I die, do I still technically believe? Maybe. What difference would it make if I think God exists but don't follow his rules? What difference would it make if I don't think God exists but follow the rules? So, what is belief? Is belief what we think or what we do? Does thinking that something exists qualify as belief? Is that the only effort needed to satisfy the confidence needed to die for our beliefs? I think true belief requires action. Words are lies, but what we do is the truth.